when it comes to reaching out to recruiters, at the end of the day, there's a few ways you'll find them. You'll either find their job board, you'll either find their
Hmm.
general intake form, or you'll find a specific listing for a specific role they're trying to fill. Like you might have like a Find Me Staffing Solutions who dropped like 20 jobs on RepSelect the other day. Um,
Yeah.
no matter what way you find them, and this goes for just reaching out to businesses in general, you always kind of want to follow a formula of sending in your application so you're going through their intended process, but then also reaching out directly and giving a few reasons why you would be a good fit for that specific role, right?
Hmm.
Because at the end of the day, everyone, let's say everyone here applies, you're going to get on the list, but then some people are also going to reach out, but the way they reach out is usually, hey, I'm trying to get hired. Hey, I'm a closer. Hey, do something for me. But if you take it a step further and list a few reasons specifically why you're a good fit for that offer, you kind of do a lot of work for the business owner or for the recruiter. You know, as human
Hmm.
beings, we love when people make us not have to think as much. And as a recruiter, their job is to vet and verify and scan through hundreds, if not thousands, of recruiters. I know Nomadic Closer's got 70,000 reps in his pipeline, right? So
Yeah.
whenever he gets a job offer, he's got to think, okay, which one of these 70,000 reps are a good fit, right? So if you force them to have to think through that on their own, they might just skip over you. But if you give them some good, compelling reasons why you're a good fit for that specific offer, that's why you want to get really specific. Ask them for a link to their job board. Or, again, if you see a specific job that they've posted on the platform, reach out directly and say, hey, I went ahead, submitted my application. Um, I think I'd be a great fit for XYZ role because, and give some reasons. Now it just comes down to, are those reasons good enough? And if they are, you'll get an interview in 2 seconds, right? Because you've
Yeah.
already done a lot of that thinking for them. They don't got to analyze you. They don't got to try to compare you, line you up. Because if you don't, then they've got to look at your profile, see your history, see if it's good. If it is good, see where you'd fit, look at their current jobs, then match you up, then offer you an interview. But if you can do all that work for them, you'll skip a lot of that process and get the interview pretty quickly. So, regardless of whether it's just reaching out to a recruiter or reaching out to a business owner, same thing. You see their job post, you submit your application, you reach out to them. Hey, Stan, saw you were hiring a closer for your role. I think I'd be really great for that offer because XYZ. Sometimes that could be past history of jobs you've had. It could be interest or industry knowledge or experience. Again, we can talk about what might look good for those reasons, but you want to give them some reasons because then they've got closer A reaching out saying, hey, I applied. I'm a closer. Give me a shot. Then you've got all the other closers who just applied, didn't reach out directly. And then we've got
Right.
Stan who gave some compelling reasons why he's a good fit. I think I'm going to interview Stan, right? That's how you. That's
Amazing.
how I would go about that. Hopefully that helps.
Yeah, thank you very much. Guys, drop like a W in the chat for Ty. It's so much value. And when it comes to that specific message, do you put that into the DM or you create a Loom video saying, hey, like my name is this and this, I applied for this role and I'm gonna be good fit because of this and this reason.
I would I would just put it in a message because your
Okay.
message can and this is partly where the RepSelect profile comes in handy because it's got everything your role plays. If you guys filled out the portfolio section and you put your role plays in
Hmm.
there, you put your intro video in there, you know, maybe you connected with other people in the community, got some endorsements, got some reviews on there as well. Um,
Hmm.
and then when you reach out, again, that message is, saw you're hiring for this role. I submitted my application. This is why I'm a good fit. Here's a little bit more about me. And then you attach your profile link. So if they are interested, if they do like those reasons, they can click into that and see everything that they want to see. Again, this is
Okay.
not to say don't make a custom video, but the thing with custom videos is they make or break it, right? So it's got to be really good. So if you're confident in your ability to every time you see a good role, pop open the camera, you know, talk specifically to that company, um, and you know, send them a video, then great. But a bad video will also just not get you interviews as much as a great video will get you interviews. So it is a lot easier to just really work on that intro video, perfect one general intro video that everyone can watch, and go from there. But again, you can kind of separate jobs that you're looking to get and dream offers that, like, you know, maybe let's say you'd love to work on like Tony Robbins' sales team. I've had a few guys work on that team. Big team,
Yeah,
might be a little bit harder than the average team to get on. As you know, massive company. You know, maybe you
right,
put in a little bit extra time and effort to get on that team than just the average job post that you see that you'd be down to work for. You know.
right. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the line to have my Loom video reviewed.
Cool. I know we got some other hands up. Angelo, what's up, man?
Hey, is it Thai?
Yeah.
It's good to meet you. So I just found out about the platform a couple of days ago. Um, Very much like the platform as well. So props to you.
Thank you.
A little bit of background. I was a door-to-door rep in Germany for 1 year. After that, I transitioned into high-ticket closing again in Germany for a German-speaking offer. And the reason why I wanted to get on this platform is to find something English speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And I was hoping to get my profile reviewed, like the whole profile. I don't know if that's the right call though to do it.
Yeah. Drop the link and we'll take a look. While you're
Sure.
pulling that up, I don't know if there's any other question. I think Frank. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right.
Yeah, you can just call me Frankie. But I wanted to ask if I could get my Loom video um,
Yep.
reviewed as
Yep.
well.
Drop it in the chat.
Sounds good.
Let me just share screen. And we'll pull up this one. You guys go ahead and let me know once you see the screen. Can we all see that?
Yep, we can see it.
Cool.
Before you start, Ty, I noticed that on the basic details, not all the basic details are listed. Is that how it's supposed to be, or?
Yeah, not all of them are listed because, I mean, it's a public profile, so I wouldn't want
Okay.
your email and phone number
Got it.
just being out
Okay.
to any and everyone.
Okay.
So when you apply to roles, that's when a business owner can see it. Because if it's not that way, every business owner scrolling on the platform would have everyone's phone number and email.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So it's kind of like you consent to who can get your contact information when you apply for a role. Does that make sense?
That makes sense, yeah.
Or else people might just make an account and start calling people. Wouldn't
Yeah.
be the best thing. All right, let's take a look. So first and foremost, we'll look at the intro video last. If we're looking at the image, I would want to see something a little bit brighter, a little bit more zoomed in. Think of like a nice professional headshot. I mean, everything is fine except we would want it to be kind of cut off at the just above mid chest to shoulders area. Headshot like here, but again, we want the environment, lighting, everything like that. At first glance, when I open the profile, it's like super dark. Makes sense?
Okay.
Headline, everything's good there. Roll. Biggest thing to keep in mind with the headline, this is one of the first things the business owners see when they're scrolling through profiles. Not that there's anything wrong with this, just wanted everyone here to know that for when they're writing their headlines. We got the revenue generated, everything filled out. This is nice and spaced out, results driven, door to door. Cool, we got that filled out. Portfolio is a huge piece as well when you have the time to fill that. Do you know what to put in the portfolio section?
Not really. I wanted to ask that.
Yeah, so portfolio is just going to be, think of like a graphic designer who needs to show examples of their work, right? So portfolio would be anything that showcased or proved your track record, because outside of that, you've got like the employment history that you put on your resume, but anyone, you know, people put stuff on their resume all the time. This is just kind of proof. So proof can be redacted, like real live calls that you've had in the past with redacted info. If you've never had a call in the past, I would suggest doing some role plays and putting some clips from there. So every sales manager, recruiter, whatever, they want to see different things because they have different sales ideology, right? So some business owners, they highly value objection handling. Some business owners, they highly value the pitch. Some business owners might highly value the discovery. So depending on what a business owner values is going to be what they want to see from you before they say, yeah, let's hire this guy or let's hire this girl. So what I would suggest doing is putting a couple full calls, but then also saying, okay, here's 2 or 3 clips of me handling these objections. Here's 2 or 3 clips of me doing discovery. Here's 2 or 3 clips, and clip it out so that they can see exactly what it is they want to see, depending on what it is they value more highly. Alongside that, if you have been on roles before, kind of like what Danielle's saying, she, experience in sales, you could then, if you have screenshots of tracking sheets, metrics, numbers, commission checks, those kinds of things. I know a lot of these companies, utilize Slack channels where they have deals being processed, again, with redacted info, screenshots of people cheering you on when you've just closed a big deal. All those kinds of things going in the portfolio is just kind of like building up your track record and history of performance. That business owners love to see that because, again, it just solidifies that all of the revenue and numbers you put is legitimate. Does that make sense? So even like door-to-door, I did door-to-door sales for years, ran big teams on it. We had lots of online tracking sheets and stuff like that you might be able to pull and throw in there if you still have access to it. I'm not sure how long ago that was. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So looking at the employment history, let's take a look. Maintain organized pipeline, go high level, tracking prospects each stage, collected 800K, average 35% close rate. Cool. So most important thing you want to do with the employment history is make sure it's very achievement based, right? So not that it's bad to put like maintained organized pipeline and go high level, all that stuff. You just want to just keep in mind that when business owners look at this, if your role was a closer, yeah, of course you maintained a pipeline. You know what I mean? They know that you did some of these more simpler things. So what they're really looking for is this bottom piece here, collected over 800K, 35% close rate. So what you want to think about is what other achievements can I list? What did I achieve here? So you're 800K in revenue. I'm not sure how long you were at this company for. Were you top of the team, top 3 out of 10 reps or something? Did you win any awards? Did you, you know what I mean? Like, what did you achieve while you were there? You don't have to answer now, but just think about those things to put here. What accolades did you get while in those roles? Cool. Let's take a look at the intro video.
Hey guys, my name is Angelo. I'm 26 years old and I have 3 years of...
Let me slow it down to normal speed.
Hey guys, my name is Angelo. I'm 26 years old and I have 3 years of sales experience. Now, my journey started as a door-to-door salesman about 3 years ago, where I worked for a company for 1 year. The company had over 1,000 active sales reps, and during that time I was able to rank under the top 10 twice on monthly contracts sold. So as you can imagine, I was able to build up my resilience, learn all the sales fundamentals, how to handle rejection, and really how to turn cold conversations into sales and referrals. And through that experience, I was also able to transition into my first high-ticket closing offer, where I worked 18 months part-time because I was also taking care of the family business, which is not the case anymore. And despite only doing that part-time and only taking about 3 to 4 calls a day, I was able to collect over 800,000 euros with an average closing rate of 35% and an average show-up rate of 60 to 70%. So imagine what I could do for you now that I'm available full-time. And I was also able to have such a high show-up rate and consistent show-up rate because I like to own my sales pipeline, and I was always willing and more than able to maintain a very clean and organized pipeline, tracking prospects through each stage of the sales process, documenting client interactions, following up, so I could move opportunities forward. And really, I specialize in B2C consultative sales, especially anything that has to do with fitness or business opportunities or building a personal brand, things of that nature. So would love to hear from you. And yeah, send me a message so we can get an interview organized and we can get the ball rolling.
Okay, few things. What you said, the accolades, everything, it was good. I would shift the order a little bit. You start off with the door-to-door thing, which, makes sense. That's where you have your main experience, where you started. Talk about the high-ticket sales stuff, the 800K. Talk about that first on the front end. most recruiters that I've worked with, they give these intro videos like the first 20 seconds and they've made their decision and they click off. And again, that's good videos and bad videos. They just say, hey, this is good, awesome, and then they keep it pushing, right? And that's usually because they're going through hundreds of these all day, every day. So you want to front load it with what they care about, which is the high ticket sales, experience, track record, accolades, that kind of thing, right? So I would talk about the door-to-door stuff second, talk about the high ticket sales stuff first. I don't know if it's just my headphones, but the mic sounded, there was a lot of like background feedback and noise there. I would want to kind of either cut that out in an editor or maybe get a better mic so that it doesn't have that feedback. The audio quality, the video quality, that stuff makes a huge difference for these business owners that are trying to select reps. Sometimes you can say everything great, but if the video's blurry and the mic's fuzzy, sometimes they won't pick you just based off of that. So I would definitely keep that in mind. Outside of that, just to loosen up a bit, body language wise, more comfortability in the video, and I think you'd have a solid video.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. Any other questions on this?
Not really. I've gotten the feedback I was looking for.
Sweet. I think we had another. We got a bunch of looms. I just checked. Who was next? Frank. Frank, you were next, right?
Yeah, I sent you the loom first, and then I realized that I can send the profile as well.
Cool. Let me see. Is this the profile? Sweet. We'll take a look at this quickly. Well, let me see. We got a portfolio. Sweet. Obviously, you know my feedback on the what to put for the employment history part. Don't want to repeat a lot. Headshot looks good. Nitpicking, just zoom in a little bit more. That way we can see your face a little better. But again, super nitpicky there. Let's take a look.
Hey team, I'm Fran Prokopec, and I'm sending this over as part of the sales application. I'm a high-ticket closer who believes in genuine human-to-human connections and human-to-human sales, and I wanted to give you an insight into who I am as a closer and as a person. To give you a bit of context on where I'm coming from, currently I'm the sole closer for Matt Orlich's Ecom Architect coaching offer, which is a coaching program for founders looking to scale their brands. It's a $700 per month for group coaching and $2,000 per month for group coaching plus one-on-one coaching. I'm generating a consistent 15 to 25K in new monthly recurring revenue month to month. I've maintained a 66.7% peak close rate. And all of the calls were one-call closes. Previously, I worked at Farm Your Freedom, where I was promoted from setter to closer in 90 days. I collected over $120,000 in cash there, selling programs for 1.2K up to like 5K. And before that, I spent time at Sol Livio as a setter dialer, managing a 250K pipeline. And I even ran my own agency, Oasis Flow, which generated over $50,000 in revenue. I'd say that I'm not really a script reader. I use processes and structures in my calls. I follow a lot of Josh Lands. I did Jeremy Lee Miner's NEPQ 2.0 course, which I've invested $4,000 in. I also invested $3,000 into Alexa Jovanović's OMS Academy, which is a sales and marketing coaching program. And as I mentioned, I watch a lot of Josh Lyons, and I really try and use his scriptless closing and Launchpad to improve myself as a person and improve myself as a closer and fulfill my true potential. I'm really looking to be surrounded by high performers because I'm a high performer myself, and I want to be surrounded by people that are looking to grow, looking to improve, and that I can rely on and that can rely on me, and we can grow and improve together. I'd say what business owners would be getting with me is that, as I mentioned, like I really try and understand a prospect and see them as a human being and find that burning problem so that I could guide them to the best decision in their current situation. Look, if you're looking for a closer who will treat your leads with respect and deliver predictable revenue, let's hop on a brief call. I'm Fran, as I said, and thank you so much for your time. Talk soon.
I think overall it's a good video. It's a good video. I would try to condense it. Um, Personally, I don't care too much if the video is 2 or 3 minutes. I've just heard time and time again that recruiters want to see it like a minute or less, a minute and 20 seconds or less. And my only worry about this is a lot of times we prejudge when we see time frames.
Yeah.
A lot of times, like, even if the info they want to hear is within the first minute, I mean, you guys probably all understand this. When you're scrolling YouTube, even if it's a video you want to watch, if the video time just looks too long, you might not click it. You know what I mean? So I just wouldn't want to see that happen to you where, maybe you send them a video and they go, oh, this is 3 minutes. And then they just move on, when realistically all the info that they want to hear is within the first minute, so that's my thought process there. I would condense it and front load it a little bit more. You had a bit of an intro that kind of took about 15 seconds to really get to the numbers. You can say that stuff, just leave it on the back end, leave it on the back half. You want to jump right in with energy and like think of a hook of like a reel or a TikTok or something. Like what is grabbing their attention quick? Because you gotta remember, business owners, recruiters, whatever, they're kind of like in this lull of like next video, and they're kind of zoned out. So you gotta, what's gonna grab their attention in the first few seconds? You've got great accolades, you've got great numbers, you've got good stuff to throw out there to grab attention. So use it. Sound good?
Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Cool. Overall, good profile. I see you got some stuff in the portfolio. Just make sure that you've got the correct links. This one's saying page not found. Just make sure that the links are correct so that they can actually get to it. So that one looks like it's good. Solid.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go through the chat and click the next ones, and then we'll get back to questions once we've gone through some of these videos. Let me see what we got here. All right. Let's scroll through. So we've got a good headshot photo. This is solid. We've also got good headline. Everything is good there. Revenues filled out. Time zone, we'll take a look at that. Small nitpick, just space it out a little bit. I'd put a little spacer there so it's separate from these two so you can tell that it's two different lists. We've got the portfolio with some stuff in it. Looks like the links work, which is good. Cool, some bullet points with some achievements here in the employment history. Solid. All right, let's take a look at the intro video.
Hi, my name is Bona. I'm a sales development representative and I specialize in the health and wellness industry. I have a background in healthcare, which gives me the competitive advantage to easily understand and adapt to companies in this industry. But beyond that, I have training in remote sales from Closers College by St. Martin, where I've been able to learn how to frame calls, handle objections, and do proper discovery calls. I've also learned how to transform complex health concepts into simple and relatable English that makes prospects feel understood. I've linked in a couple of my calls where you can go and review my skills. But besides that, I'll be excited to work with your team and I'm expected to hear back from you. Bye.
Awesome. Good energy. What I saw in your profile was that let's take a look. You did have some experience as an appointment setter here. How come you didn't use that in the intro video?
Okay, I think that's I honestly I don't have any reason why I didn't add that to the intro video. I'll work on that.
Yeah, I would say definitely plug that into the beginning, because if I was just listening to his intro video, I would just think you're a brand new beginner to sales, and sometimes they might still interview, sometimes they might not. And even if you're a beginner, you can still land interviews, but you might as well use what you got, You know what I mean? Instead of lowering your chances. So I'll definitely utilize that. And this is for everyone. Business owners really don't like seeing the iPhone kind of shot, or just like the, what is it, portrait layout. They want to see it in landscape. They want to see your full setup, because they want to understand, like, part of the intro video and part of why I stress like camera quality, part of why I stress microphone quality, is business owners want to know, what environment will this person be taking calls from? Do they have a good enough setup environment, office like look, to take calls or for us to put in front of our prospects, right? And especially if we're talking B2B, where, you know, you're going to be speaking to large business owners, you want to make sure that you have a good environment. And if you don't showcase that in your intro video, it's another thing that just makes them have to guess. So if they're kind of debating between you and one other person, the person that shows them the environment is probably going to get the opportunity ahead of you. So just make sure that, again, you don't have to use a camera. You can use your iPhone, literally just prop it up sideways instead of doing landscape, and it will make a huge difference. Can't tell you how many times I've spoken to recruiters that they just really hate the landscape, the straight on videos, because also, if you think about it from their perspective, if they say, okay, we're going to place this person in an interview with one of our clients, not like, they don't know how you're going to show up to that interview, and it could look bad on their reputation if they say, yeah, this person's a good candidate, and then you show up not in a great environment because you didn't show what the environment is. So again, it's a risk. It's a risk on them that they have to decide to take. And if you're risky, then chances are, again, you've heard that, like, the size of their pipelines are huge, so the odds of them picking someone that's a risk are a little bit low. So yeah, those are the only two things I would do with this one. Make sure to utilize that experience at the beginning that you do have. Shoot it, sideways, and that'll go a long way. Sound good?
Yes. I also have a couple of questions, or just a question rather.
Sure.
It's relating to my time zone and my current location. I live in Nigeria, and although I'm able to work in various time zones, I'm able to work in the Pacific time zone, Mountain time zone, any time zone really I can work in. But recruiters or some of the pipelines that I've filled into, they put me aside because of my current location. Is that something? Because, like, I feel like hindering my progress as an appointment setter. What would you say that I should do differently, or how would I approach this situation?
Yeah, one thing you want to do is, from the beginning, make it clear the time zones that you're available to work in, just so that there's no room for assumption, right? Sometimes someone from the UK applies to a US role and they assume they won't be available for the team meetings or whatever, and they don't pick them because of that. Or again, they don't know. If it's not clear, then you leave it up for assumption. So everywhere you can, try not to leave it up for assumption. Sometimes, like with recruiters, it can be more difficult because some business owners, when they go to a recruiter, they request U.S. candidates only, or candidates from specific places, and a lot of times that could be simply just because the way they set up their business and taxes and everything like that is, the way they pay people, it requires them to be from a specific location where even Canadians can't get the role. So it is a little bit more difficult. But if you're applying to roles directly, you shouldn't have too much more of an issue, as long as it's clear that you're available to work and your portfolio has a lot of good examples of you selling. So the biggest concerns for business owners is timing, language barriers, anything like that. So if you have a portfolio with really good, outstanding content in there, showcasing that you can sell, that you have a similar sales ideology to them, that'll help you bypass that.
Thank you.
No problem. What else did we have in here? We had Stan, I think you've got your profile to review. Gabriel, you've got your Loom video to review. We'll pull those up. Before we pull those up, do we have any other questions?
Yep, we do.
What's up, Gabriel?
How are you doing, Ty?
I am good.
So I got to the Loom video. If when we get to it, give me all of the feedback that you possibly can. I know it's just like the 1.0 version, and it's gonna go over several iterations. Um, Other than that, I leave the profile for next session, right? But that
Okay.
was I have got a question regarding what Buona, I don't know if that's how we pronounce your name, said, which is regarding like the time zone, the being a foreigner, for many of these offers with recruiters. I've set I've set up like the W whatever IRS form and all of that stuff to have it plugged in. But if I present that like upfront, like, hey, I'm like plug and play for you to hire me as a foreign as a foreign employee, as a contractor, will that lower the barrier of entry, and how big is that barrier of entry really? That's the main question,
Yeah,
and
it
I think
really
that applies for everyone here on this call right now.
yeah, it really just depends on the company that you're applying to. Like one thing you have to understand the difference with, I guess, this industry as opposed to more corporate tech sales, it's kind of like there's no one set of rules that every company kind of follows for the most part. It's kind of like the business owner decides how they go about things for their specific company. And obviously, you have that in other industries as well. But um, again, there's a lot less red tape. There's a lot less, like, there's not an HR team that's advising on these things for most of these companies. So it really just depends on what companies you're applying to. I would say B2C offers, you're probably going to run into that a lot less than B2B offers. I mean, B2C offers just in general are easier to land. Um, if you're applying to like SDR AE roles, you'll run into that a lot more. You'll run into issues a lot more and struggles a lot more with that than if you're applying to like closer or setter roles. Again, it really comes down, like a lot of the bias comes from their belief that there won't be a language barrier or that you can sell. So if you have good role plays, good examples, if you can impress them in the interview, that'll help. I've had people from India, people from all over the place, land roles and bypass that barrier. And there's also obviously offers in like the UK and Australia and other places where the time zone might line up a little bit better too.
And from the perspective of recruiters, like industry culture regarding that same question with recruiters.
Like, is it harder with recruiters?
Yeah, yeah.
It can be. It can be. So the thing about recruiters is if you put yourself in their shoes, their job is to just get the best possible candidate possible for what the company is asking for, right? So it comes down to, I've had recruiters that they say they don't want anyone in the U.S. I've seen recruiters, they only want people from the U.S. I've seen, so it depends on what that recruiter, like the types of companies they deal with. Again, there's no one set of rules for it. It like if that company's requesting the recruiter to do that, there's not much the recruiter can do because that's their client. They're focused on what they need first, right?
Right.
Cool.
I'm good now. Thank you.
Let's take a look at the intro video, then we'll look at stands, and then we will go from there.
Perfect.
Let me share screen again. Where is that button? There it is. All right, guys can see that? Yep. Okay.
Hi, my name is Gabriel, and I am sending you this video because I would love to work with your organization as a closer. I'm an ex-founder with over 4 years of experience running a B2B SaaS startup. I've worn every possible hat in that operation. I ran sales, I ran marketing, I ran legal, I ran the product. And I've sat in front of highly sophisticated buyers, highly dominant buyers. I know how these people think. I know how these people operate. In my previous line of work, I closed $7,000 a year PIFs. I've closed deals up to $16,000 a year, anxious, without a playbook. And now that I am transitioning into high ticket sales, I'm taking Ty Martin's Closer College training program. I've run over 50 role play calls, training deep prospect discovery to make sure that I can navigate prospects towards getting committed and ready to buy at a deep nervous system level, where they feel truly seen and truly understood. And I might not have all of the experience on paper, but I am a deeply serious and committed professional. And I can guarantee you that if we work together, I will take a systematic approach to becoming the top closer on your team. I will absolutely obsess over your offer, your product, the way you serve your prospects, your marketing funnel, everything. And above all, I will obsess at a granular level about what I can do to get better and to serve your offer the best way possible. So that's what I can do. That's what I can offer. I am hungry to serve. I am hungry to learn. I will not churn in 90 days. If your offer makes sense, I will stay absolutely committed. And I can guarantee you that 6 to 12 months from now, I will do everything possible to break your cash collected records. So book a call with me. Let's understand what you need from your next closer. And if we are a mutual fit, I look forward to bringing all of the effort, all of the passion, and all of the obsession that I can towards your operation. See you soon.
Really good conviction. You said a lot of good stuff here. I would rearrange it a little bit. You talked about being a founder of your previous SaaS. I would dive directly into the sales of closing 7K and 16K PIFs. If you have any other metrics from that, close rates, you handled the cycle. So if there's anything about how you guys generated those calls or those meetings, whatever it is, what were you going to say?
What specific would you recommend that I could add there?
Yeah. So, I mean, it depends on what you tracked. Like, what metrics did you track?
I have the complete cash collected overall from all of the time there.
What is it?
I can talk about how we structured our sales funnel, how I built the SOPs, everything, because I pretty much ran the whole outfit. So
What is the
I don't know what you would
what
put
was the
there if you
total
were in my
cash?
shoes.
What was the total cash collected?
Total cash was like 200 and something $1,000.
Okay, and do you know what your close rate was on average?
I don't know. It was all in person. I did not
Okay.
track that,
Do
honestly.
you know
And it was a long
How did
sales
you-
cycle, so it was like several meetings and committee
how did you
here.
generate the leads?
How did I generate the leads? They were referral based and outbound based.
Okay, tell me about the outbound.
The outbound was, well, now that I think about it, the outbound was also referral in a way.
Like, you got
Because
the
what we would
numbers or
do,
phone numbers and you called them?
what we would do is we would get, like, from people we knew, we would get the lists of like the different chambers of like chamber of commerce in our country, the list of like, they have the list of the CEO and everyone and all the contacts. We would get all of the lists from all of like the different business organizations, all of the chambers. We would run exactly like who knows these people, like the target businesses, and then we would try to find through LinkedIn people that we knew that knew those people, right? So basically it would be kind of referral outbound. I don't know if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So I would frame it as, I mean, that's pretty much outbound. That's not referrals.
Okay.
But I would frame it as, closing hundreds of thousands of dollars for my business, through referrals and, cold outreach and outbound,
Okay.
like I would stick it in there, I ran a B2B SaaS. I would close. I was responsible for the entire sales process, closing I think you said 7K and 16K PIFs on a regular basis. Throughout my tenure there, I closed hundreds of thousands of dollars through working my pipeline and generating referrals and also cold outbound on LinkedIn. That's you kick it off like that. Now they're interested. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then you can kind of tie in. I would leave like the training stuff about, close callers, mock calls, all that stuff. If you want to throw that in, I would shift that towards the back half. I really liked the conviction you had about your work ethic and all that. I would kind of follow up with that right after
All right.
your SaaS experience. And then and this is for everyone, avoid talking about what you don't have. Don't go in there and be like, I know I don't have this, or even though I don't have that. Like, you got to remember, this is like a 1 minute quick, grab their attention, get them interested, get on the interview. You can talk about that stuff on the interview when you're having a more like a full conversation, this is like a movie trailer, right? Like a movie trailer is not going to show the bad parts of the movie. You know what I mean? Or mention them. You just got to show like you got to highlight the best things, get them interested, get them excited about you, and sell the interview. You had a good call to action, good conviction. So start off with that experience, throw in the referrals and cold outbound, and then say the rest of the stuff you said, and if you want you can add the training and stuff at the end with a strong call to action to jump on a call and showcase your skills.
I have 3 questions that still regarding the video. Number 1, body language and tone. What do you say about that, and what can I improve on there?
I think the body language and tone was good. You had good, movement with the hands. That usually showcases someone that's confident in what they're saying. Overall, again, your energy as a whole was high conviction. The only thing I would say is maybe we can get a little less blur of the camera, but again, that's just a nitpick. If we're going for perfection, we could up the quality.
All right, so I can work with that. Number 2, that section, the back end section about like what I can do for the offer and my level of conviction and my level of passion.
Yeah, I liked it.
I leave that in like almost exactly as obviously same winging it next time, but as is.
Yep, I liked it. You can leave it as is.
All right, and last but not least, which is I still have to give either the recruiter or the sales manager the conviction that okay, this guy ran traditional B2B, but he has the competence to go into a B2C online offer. And that's why the bridge of taking your training and all of that. So how can I condense that and put that in, or at least give that conviction to the sales manager, while, like you said, it's not as relevant in compared to everything else that I can put in? How do I still give the sales manager that confidence?
Well, at the end of the day, conviction sells, and you don't necessarily need to be convicted in a sense. Like, you just need to be confident in your ability to adapt and grow and do what it takes to get results, which is all the stuff you said, right? And if you make that clear that, hey, I'm willing to put in the work to get it done and hit projections and, hit quota and, obviously use the terminology of the role you're applying for. Projections, quota is more tech kind of corporate sales. Projections is more high ticket remote sales. But most business owners are looking for someone that's, willing to work pipeline, isn't lazy about their deals, wants to, as you could even like use that founder angle of, as a business owner, I know how important it is to maximize every lead that comes into business and ensure that whether it's our ad spend or organically generated, deals, we work them to ensure that we're generating as much revenue as possible. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can use that founder angle.
Yeah, going to the founder angle. I like that a lot. All right. Thank you, Ty. That was great.
No problem. Last one we're going to review here, well, based on what we've got in the chat. Stan, are you still there, man? Not sure if he is. He's still here? Did he have to pop out? Okay, I guess he did have to pop out. Cool. Any other questions? I think, Karina, you had your hand up?
Yes. Hi, Ty. I'm new here. Nice to meet you.
Welcome.
So I'm getting high value from this call so far. My situation's a bit closer from Gabrielle. I'm in sales. I was in sales, but in my own franchise for like 6-7 years. I moved to continents, and after I had done that, I did not work in sales anymore. So let's say for the last 9 years, I was not actively in sales, but because of the roles that I have been in here, I was using my convincement. I just did a high ticket close training last year for about 11 months, where I probably did 78 role plays, and I'm good to go. I saw you doing the analysis of the profiles and as well the the promo videos. So I was doing promo videos for every um, place that I wanted to work for. I was doing individual ones. But when it comes to the profile that you was analyzing,
Mm-hmm.
so what I can show from results is something that I did like to 10, 15 years ago. So in my case, is it relevant for that or not? I was awarded best sales performance nationwide when I was in sales back then, but I don't have anything recent beyond the course that I did. So how I'm gonna how I'm gonna fill the profile over there, and what are the relevant experience that I'm gonna talk through on the general promo video when I upload my profile on your website. What are your guidance on it, please?
Yeah, I would still talk about anything sales, even if it was, a while ago. Um, Utilize what you have. Again, the goal of the intro video is a trailer that just gets them interested enough to interview you. If they want to do deeper inspection afterwards, you can talk about that in the interview, or they'll go through the rest of your profile and resume and all that stuff. What other recent experience do you have, whether
So,
it be sales or anything?
I was doing like consulting myself for people in property. So I was selling myself as a consult.
That's
But
exactly this industry. I mean, most
sorry?
offers, that's exactly like most offers are consulting, coaching offers, advertising. I mean, high
Yeah.
ticket services is consulting for a lot of companies. So it's definitely relevant.
I had my own law office for 10 years where I was just working for multinational companies in government bodies and as well in court every single day, like in 5, 6 states from my country back home. Is it something important to build credibility and show that I know how to navigate people through convincement as well? Or because it was like between 1997 and 2008, it should not be mentioned.
You can still mention it. Any experience that you have, you can still mention it. If you can still draw on it to make yourself better at your role now, then it's relevant, right? Like you didn't forget those things. I'm sure if you went back, you would still perform well in those roles, right? So yeah, you can definitely mention it. Again, you have to understand with a lot of these companies, there's not a lot of them aren't at the stage where they have like a lot of these corporate rules of, oh, if an experience is more than 5 years, don't count it, or oh, if like there's not a lot of these kind of set in stone rules. So I'll definitely mention it. I personally haven't heard too much recruiters talk about something being too far back to be relevant. Now,
Okay.
obviously, most business owners, they care about the last, 5, 6 years or so, but at the end of the day, I would still mention it if it leads credence to it, if it helps it.
Okay. And about the performance, the profile. So should I go back there? But I'm not gonna be able to prove because in the end the franchise was mine, So I'm away from that market since 2015. So it's gonna be kind of impossible for me to apply things there. I like your suggestion about putting me going through objection handling and the introduction with the client. So that part I can fulfill, but what I should put on the other metrics?
In terms of adding the employment history to the profile,
Yeah.
yeah, like you can add the employment history. Are you talking about specifically like verifying it in terms of like
Yes.
submitting it for verification? If you don't have any files or documents or anything like that or screenshots that you could use to verify it, that's okay. The verification isn't mandatory. It's just an added trust layer that helps, but it's not like just verify what you can verify. It's not like it's not, we actually, that's a new feature even. We didn't always have the verification there and it was fine for a long time. So it's not like the end of the world if the older stuff you can't verify. But if the most recent stuff is verified, then you're fine.
Okay. That was all. Thank you very much.
No problem. Awesome, awesome. Any other questions before we hop off, Danielle? You can stay on and we can go through some of the techier stuff that you wanted to go through. But other than that, any other things that we wanted to cover in terms of questions? Or are we all good to go?
Yeah, Ty, just a follow-up question on my end, if
Yep.
that's okay.
Mhm.
Going back to the intro video and how important the first few seconds are. I do understand that there's no really like right or wrong way to start a video like this, but could you give like some inspiration? How would you first of all like refer to people if the video is not personalized? Would you just say, "Hey guys," and then just go right into your experience? Or
Yeah,
how would
you,
you
you would
start
just
with
you would just kick it off because they know, especially if it's on RepSelect, like they know it's a general video because they're scrolling through them, right? So you just kick it off just normal, like, "Hey, I'm Angelo, sending this video because whatever," or if you're sending it to someone, or if it's just general video, be like, "Hey, I'm Angelo, nice to meet you," and boom, talk about your experience, right? "Hey, I'm Angelo, nice to meet you. I've been a closer for the last whatever amount of years. I've closed over $100,000 or $1 million in cash collected on." Like, you just jump right in, you know.
Got it. Thank you.
Cool. All righty. Well, if that is all, hopefully this call was valuable for you guys. We've got this every single Monday. If you need continued support, we can keep walking you through the process. For those of you that are also in the kind of training portion of it, we have another call on Wednesday. So I will see you all then. Later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem.